So, what really makes a hero? Is it about being perfect, totally virtuous, or is it something messier? Today, we're going to dive into the story of Parashurama, a figure from Hindu mythology who is just, well, a complete and total paradox. He's a peaceful priest who also happens to be a devastating warrior. He's a man of incredible love, and yet he performs a truly terrible act, all in the name of duty.
And this is the fundamental clash at the very heart of his story. You've got the Brahmins on one side. They're the keepers of knowledge, focused on rituals, on thinking. And on the other, you have the Kshatriyas. They're the protectors, the warriors, the class built for action. These two paths, they're meant to be completely separate. But somehow, Parashurama walks them both. So, that's the big question, isn't it? How can these two totally opposing forces exist inside one person? Well, as you might guess with these kinds of stories, the answer starts with his origin.
See, his arrival on the scene was a huge turning point. It wasn't just another story, it changed the whole idea of what a divine hero could be here on Earth.
He is, in fact, the sixth avatar, or incarnation of the great god Vishnu. And he was sent to Earth to restore balance. But let me tell you, he was nothing like the ones who came before him.
To really get why he's so important, you have to look at this evolution. Vishnu's first few incarnations weren't even human. The fifth was just a child. But then came Parashurama, number 6, and we get something totally new, a mature, complex, and honestly a flawed human character. The game had just changed.
And that complexity, well, it defines his entire life. It's just a series of contradictions that forge him into what the ancient texts call a pure man of action.
Just think about this first paradox. He was born a Brahmin into a family of hermits. His life was supposed to be all about quiet study and peace, but what does he do? He picks up an axe and becomes a warrior so good, so devastatingly effective, that he's better than any soldier from the actual warrior caste, and he ends up completely wiping them out.
And then there's this. This is the most shocking paradox of them all. The stories are really clear that Parashurama loved his mother, loved her deeply. But when his father ordered him to kill her as a test of his obedience, he did it, without even hesitating. It's a brutal, chilling example of his absolute commitment to duty over any personal feelings.
And this is exactly what it means to be a man of action in his story. We're talking about someone who isn't bound by society's rules, or even by his own heart. He's basically a weapon for a higher purpose, and it just so happens the world was about to face a challenge that needed exactly that.
You see, the world needed a hero who could break all the rules, because it was up against a villain who already had. A tyrant king was just terrorizing everyone, and no normal warrior stood a chance against him.
And this guy, Kartavarya Arjuna, was no ordinary king. He was a force of nature. He had 1,000 arms, each one holding a weapon. His arrogance was off the charts. He let his armies just burn and pillage whatever they wanted. He even invaded the sacred garden of the gods themselves. And in his final, ultimate act of disrespect, he stood on the shore and just started firing arrows into the ocean, just to show how powerful he was.
As if that wasn't enough, he screams his question out at the waves, basically daring the universe to create someone who could even match him.
And you know what? To his absolute shock, the ocean answered him with one single powerful word.
Destiny itself just dropped the mic. Even before they ever met, a divine force declared that the only person who could stop this unstoppable king was our warrior priest. His paradoxical nature wasn't a flaw. It was the perfect weapon against this tyrant's power.
But his story doesn't stop there, not even close, because Parashurama wasn't just an incarnation for one specific moment. His totally unique nature gave him a legacy that's, well, truly immortal. Get this. He is the only one of Vishnu's incarnations who was able to live outside of his own era. He was there during the time of Rama and then later during the time of Krishna. He became the patron god of India's west coast, where people believe he literally carved the land right out of the sea with that famous axe of his.
And this, right here, this is the key to his immortality. That core part of him, that relentless love of action, is what let him literally walk through time. He wasn't just a fix for one problem. He was this enduring force, moving through the ages whenever he was needed.
Which kind of leaves us with this final thought to chew on. We usually think of heroes as these flawless, perfect beings, right? But the story of Parashurama suggests something way different. What if it's the contradictions, the inner battles, the willingness to break the mold? What if that's what forges the exact hero the world actually needs?